So would you enjoy a zombie mode in Diablo Immortal, an endless horde mode where you get to see how far you go? But also, would you enjoy that knowing that it's normalized, meaning your gear, your stats doesn't matter? You get to just participate, play the build you want, play how you want, sort of like an Elder Rift, and just go as far as you want. Would you like a chance to be able to see if you can go as far as the wells in some of the endless modes? Well, you might just get that opportunity. Let me show you. There is a data mine currently in the game. Now, this data mine is not my data mine. This was posted on Reddit by Undevil, so credit goes to the Reddit poster as well as the person who actually did the data mine from the Diablo Immortal Discord, this gentleman right here, Saint Taglia. I'm sure I got that name wrong, but this right here is the data mine. Let's go ahead and go over what's talking about. There's a defense mode coming up that's going to have two modes, a normal and endless. Now, there's some good and bad in this. The normal mode is a weekly task that occurs at time chosen by the Warband leader. So I want to say this to Blizzard right now before we go farther in this. Please stop trying to make warbands a thing. Warbands are not a thing. Logistically, trying to get 8 people together at the same time, even if it can be chosen by the warband leader, is quite difficult and no one wants to do it. People get paid for a full-time job just to figure these things out. They're called secretary, receptionist. Figuring out scheduling is a pain in the ass, and half the time people have to cancel and reschedule. I'll give you an example. The Rite of the Exile, we only had 7 people show up on my team, and we were worried about it for our Battle of the Rite. Didn't matter because they only had 6 on the opposing people that showed up. What I'm trying to get at is getting 8 people 100% down. They're going to be there at that time. Can be very difficult in these types of mobile games. This isn't an MMO like World of Warcraft where you have raid times that are set and that's the entire point of the guild. These are weekly events that happen sometimes and then go away, like the Fracture Plane's only here for 2 weeks. So trying to get people to take them seriously and show up for them is going to be difficult in and of itself for the casual person. Not everyone has a YouTube audience where you can go up here and sit here and be like, does anyone want to play this with me? And people will say yes. Most people don't. And unfortunately, I think forcing those people into warbands is a big fat L if you ask me, but let's not do too much speculation on the speculation. Let's get going back with the actual data that we have. So the endless mode is where it actually gets pretty positive. In addition to normal mode, Warband can choose to test their prowess in an unending horde of demons. This is cool. I've asked for an unending, like endless type of mode. I think these type of zombie defense type of modes are fantastic. They're fun. They're repetitive. People like to do them. This is something that we would need to do multiple times. I don't want this to be a once a week type of thing. I want this to be something that we can go in multiple times to get rewards over and over again. It gets cooler. The demons destroy the gate. The contest ends. The endless mode, it's where monsters come to the players endlessly. So they're just constantly spawning into them. Try to kill enough enemies in front of a monster's attack on the city door and get a higher score will earn a score based upon how long they survive. So we're defending the city, essentially. The city is being overran and we got to keep them from the gates. Kind of a cool thematic. Here's where it gets kind of cool for the rewards. Top 3 warbands will earn a special frame and additional weekly rewards. So you'll have some kind of way of being able to show, and I've said this prior that I think these are quite important in MMOs, a way of being able to show accomplishments. Like RuneScape has skill capes, party hats, ways to show either your in-game wealth or your in-game skills. And this game has like cosmetics, and you have your wings, which only really show how much money you've well in this mobile game. There's not really like too much to show other than someone clicking and like independently looking at each piece of gear to see how well you've been performing in the game. Even if you were, immortal for a while or all these things, there's not really anything that goes visually to show you. And I think the frames are going to be at least a starting ground towards that. I think being able to customize your person more and more, like we have the spot for the wings, etc. And hopefully Blizzard will add the ability to change cosmetics between classes, I think is one of the more important things. But customization visually, as well as representing how well you're doing in the game, I think is quite important. And if you look at this, some information about leaving early will get less rewards. They basically say it's normalized, meaning that it's going to be like an Elder Rift where all the damage is standardized. You don't have to worry about people being way, way stronger than you. You get to participate with your friends, even if they're way ahead of you. And players who leave early will only receive rewards corresponding to their participation. So this punishes leavers and de-incentivizes people not taking it seriously, which will help counteract some of the points about the warband. So a couple points. This is all speculation. None of this is factual, 100% true yet. This is just data mine so we can see it in the patch, but for all we know, they could change these type of things. And the other point is, feedback to Blizzard, please stop trying to make warbands a thing. Warbands are not a thing. They should not be a thing. The feedback for warbands have been exactly the same since before the game has even launched. Warbands are difficult to get people into. They are, unfortunately, difficult to get people to stay because you need to hop back and forth for different time zones to do different bosses, etc. And also, there's not really huge incentives behind even being in a warband and doing it all literally anyway. Maybe this will change some of this. Maybe this won't change some of this. What do you guys think about the Warband situation? And what do you think about the zombie mode coming to the game? I'm actually excited for the game mode in and of itself personally. Keep in mind, it's just a day of the mind, but let me know in the comments down below.